Hey everyone, and welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are going to be shedding some light.
Ooh, playing with words already.
Well, you know me, I can't help myself.
Always with the puns.
But seriously though, we're talking about how different lighting conditions can actually change.
Like physically change?
Exactly. The physical structure of our eyes.
It's wild. It's not just how our pupils react or how well we see. It's really about measurable changes.
As the shape.
Yeah, to the shape of the retina itself.
And to really get to the bottom of this, we are diving into a research article from Experimental Eye Research. And if you want to follow along and see the study for yourselves, you can find a link in the episode description. But essentially this study, they focus specifically on how the retina, morphs, depending on the type of light.
Like it's exposed to.
Yeah.
And the results are...
Eye-opening.
You did it again. See, I knew it.
I had to.
Okay.
But really, this is huge. I mean,
Yeah, this has some pretty big implications for us as eye care professionals.
for sure.
Yeah.
Because understanding these changes can help us better diagnose and treat.
Oh, and even prevent, right.
Yes, prevent eye conditions down the road.
Okay, so let's break down this study. So they had 60 healthy young adults.
All with 20/20 vision.
Yep, perfect vision. And they put them through a bunch of different lighting tests, 5 to be exact.
5. Okay, what were they?
All right, so we've got photopic, which is basically bright light, scotopic, which is darkness, mesopic is more like a dim light,
Okay.
and then they also did blue and red light.
Wow. Okay, so that's quite a range of lighting conditions. And for how long were they exposed?
To each, just 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's crazy. In just 5 minutes, you can trigger these changes.
Yeah.
Shows how sensitive our eyes are.
Sensitive to light, for sure.
Yeah.
But to really understand the shape-shifting that's happening here, they use 2 tools, OCT.
Oh, okay, so that's like taking a high-res 3D picture of the retina.
Exactly. And then they also used aberrometry.
And aberrometry, that analyzes how light gets distorted as it passes through the eye.
Precisely. And what they found was pretty amazing. The shape of the retina actually changed depending on the light.
Wait, the retina changes shape. I mean, I knew our pupils adjusted, but I never thought about the retina itself morphing.
I know, it's mind-blowing.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So how did they actually measure?
Quantify the change.
Yeah, quantify the changes.
Yeah, so they looked at 3 main things: eccentricity, asphericity, and then shape factor.
Okay, so I'm gonna need you to break those down for me.
Yeah, those are some big words. So think of the retina like a bowl, okay?
A bowl. Got it.
Eccentricity tells us how deep that bowl is.
Yeah.
Asphericity is more about how evenly rounded the bowl is.
Okay.
And then the shape factor kind of sums it all up, gives us an overall picture of the retina's curvature.
Got it. Okay, so then what did they actually find? What happened to the bowl, the retina, under these different lighting conditions?
Well, in dim light and then under the blue light, the retina got flatter, almost like you were stretching it out. But then in mesopic light, so that in between dimness, the retina actually became more curved, like you were pushing it inwards.
So different types of light have opposite effects on the retina's curvature.
Right. And get this, under red and bright light, the retina was basically unchanged, closest to its original shape.
So red and bright light had the least impact.
It seems that way.
Wow. Okay, so we know now that the retina changes shape in response to different types of light. But why, though? Why is it doing this?
Great question. And that leads us to our next topic, which is aberrations.
Okay, aberrations.
Don't worry, it's not as scary as it sounds.
Okay.
Aberrations are just distortions in how light enters the eye. Ideally, our eyes would focus light perfectly onto the retina.
For a crystal clear image.
Exactly. But it's not a perfect world.
Right. Things are a little more
A
complicated.
little more complicated, yeah. And they actually found that under lower light levels, so that's scotopic and mesopic conditions, the participants, get this, became temporarily more nearsighted.
Hold on. Are you saying that dim lighting can make you nearsighted? Even if it's just temporary?
Exactly. Isn't that fascinating?
It really is. What about blue light? That's been a hot topic lately. Did the study talk about blue light at all?
Yeah, they found that blue light actually caused a stronger myopic shift than red light.
Okay, so more nearsightedness.
More nearsightedness, yeah, even in just 5 minutes.
Interesting. So blue light may be a little more troublesome for us.
Yeah, maybe a little. They also use something called PSF analysis.
PSF.
Yeah, point spread function analysis.
Okay.
Basically, it visualizes how these distortions change the shape and size of the light that gets focused onto the retina.
Okay, so we've got a shape-shifting retina, we've got light bending and distorting in all sorts of ways.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take in. I guess a big question is, are these two things connected? Is the retina changing because of these aberrations, or is it just doing its own thing?
That is the million-dollar question, and it's something that researchers are still trying to figure out. But this study does give us some pretty good clues.
Okay, I'm all ears.
It seems like there is a link between the retina's curvature and those myopia changes.
So walk me through that. How are they connected?
So think about it. Could a flatter retina, which is what we saw with the blue light and dim light, could that actually contribute to myopia developing long term?
That's a good point. A flatter retina would definitely change how the light hits it.
Right.
And that could mess with how the eye focuses.
Exactly. And then on the other hand, why would red light cause more curvature and then less of that myopic shift?
Yeah, why?
Is there something protective about red light? We need more research.
This is so fascinating. And it has, huge implications for what we do, what we tell our patients. I mean, what does this research mean for lighting exposure?
Yeah.
Especially for kids or people who might be at risk for myopia.
It's a big deal. It's not just about telling patients to limit screen time anymore. We need to be thinking about the type of light they're getting, how strong it is, and how long they're exposed.
It's a whole other level.
Yeah, much more nuanced now.
I totally agree. And you know what? This is just the beginning.
Oh yeah, we're just getting started.
We've only just touched the surface of this research. Before we dive deeper, though, we're going to take a quick break. Stick around, because in part 2, we will be exploring some even more fascinating questions about light and the eye. And hey, if you are loving the deep dive so far, don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and tell your colleagues about the show. We'll be back in a flash.
Welcome back, everyone. Before the break, we were talking about some research, remember? The kind that suggests different light, like different types of light, can actually change the shape of the retina.
And impact our vision.
Yeah.
Right? It's amazing.
It really makes you wonder what other things might be at play here beyond what they studied.
Oh, totally. I mean, this study focused on healthy young adults.
Right.
But what about, older folks?
Yeah.
People with, pre-existing eye conditions.
Yeah, that's a good question. Could age or, other eye problems affect how the retina responds?
Exactly. And what about just being exposed to certain types of light for a really long time? I'm thinking working under those, harsh fluorescent lights all day
I know.
versus, spending time outdoors in natural light.
Right. Completely.
Would that have a different effect?
Yeah, for sure. It seems like this study just opens up a whole new area of research, doesn't it?
Totally.
Yeah.
It really challenges, what we thought we knew about how the eye works.
It does.
And it makes you think about, how can we protect our vision?
Especially now.
Yeah, in a world, dominated by artificial light.
Right. Everywhere you look.
Okay, so let's, put on our thinking caps for a minute.
Yeah.
And consider what this means for us.
As eye doctors. Yeah.
Yeah. Practically speaking, what are the implications?
Well, I think first and foremost, it highlights how important those regular eye exams are.
Absolutely. Early detection is key.
Right. And we're the ones who can catch those early signs.
Exactly.
Things like myopia, We need to understand how lighting can impact the eye. It helps us, understand what our patients need.
Right. Their individual needs.
The risk factors, all of that.
So it's not just about, checking their vision. It's about asking them about, their lifestyle.
Yeah. Their work, what their lighting is like at home.
Exactly. All of that. I mean, imagine if we could, figure out who's at risk for myopia.
Oh, yeah. Just based on their lighting exposure.
Yeah. And then we could step in earlier, maybe slow things down.
Exactly. It's all about prevention.
Wow. That's amazing. I'm already thinking about, my patient education materials. What kind of advice should we be giving people?
Well, maybe instead of just saying limit your screen time, we start talking about light hygiene.
Ooh, light hygiene.
I like that.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's be mindful of the light you're getting, just like you're mindful of washing your hands or brushing your teeth,
I love that. Healthy choices for your eyes.
Ex
Okay, so then, what are some practical tips for better light hygiene?
Well, we need to encourage people to get more natural daylight.
Yeah, open the blinds, go for walks, let the sun shine in.
Exactly. Even opening a window can help.
What about those of us who, work inside all day?
Oh, I feel ya. I'm under those fluorescents all the time. But even small changes can make a difference.
Like what?
Well, maybe we can, advocate for better lighting at work, at schools.
Oh, yeah. Using different bulbs?
Yeah, bulbs that are more like natural light.
Right, right.
There are also those full spectrum light boxes. Have you seen those?
Yeah, those can be good for people who just don't get enough natural light.
For sure. And then at night, think about artificial light. How can we reduce that, especially blue light?
That's a good question.
Well, we can dim the lights,
Hmm.
use those night mode settings on our phones and computers.
Right, right.
And we've talked about those blue light-blocking glasses.
Yeah, do those really work?
They can help, yeah, especially if you're on screens a lot at night.
So it's not about, like, getting rid of blue light completely,
No, it's more about timing.
like when you're exposed to it.
Yeah, we actually need blue light during the day.
It keeps us awake.
Right, exactly. Helps us feel alert. But at night, it's a different story.
Right. Messes with your sleep.
It can. And it can mess with your body's natural melatonin production, which you need to fall asleep.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all about balance, isn't it? Getting enough of the good light during the day and then, like, minimizing the bad stuff at night.
You got it. And this is where we, as eye doctors, can really make a difference. We can educate our patients.
About all this stuff.
Yeah. It's not just about fixing their vision anymore. It's about preventing problems.
Oh, 100%. This research could really change how we approach eye care.
Big time. It's a wake-up call for all of us. We need to take light seriously.
Light isn't just something we see by. It's something that affects us.
It affects our eyes, our health, even our mood.
I'm curious what, like, personally stood out to you from this research?
For me, it's just amazing how adaptable the human body is. Our eyes are constantly adjusting, even down to, like, the cells.
It's incredible that something as simple as light can have such a big impact on us.
It really makes you wonder, what else don't we know about our eyes? What other cool adaptations are out there?
So many mysteries still to uncover. Our deep dive isn't over yet, though. We'll be back in a flash with part 3, where we'll delve into even more questions about light and the eye. Stay tuned.
And we are back for the final part of our deep dive. It has been illuminating so far, wouldn't you say?
It really has. We've covered so much ground already, from shape-shifting retinas to light hygiene.
Totally. But before we wrap up, I want to talk about one more thing, the long-term effects of all this.
Oh yeah, the long game.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about the immediate changes, but what about the impact over time?
That is a great question, and honestly, researchers are still figuring that part out. This study focused on short-term exposure, remember, 5 minutes. So we don't know for sure what happens long-term. Right. So what do we know about light and eye health over time?
Well, we know that too much UV from the sun can lead to cataracts and macular degeneration. That's why we always tell people to wear sunglasses, Protect those eyes.
Right. UV protection is so important. But what about artificial light, like all the blue light from our devices? What's the latest on that?
It's tricky. Some studies have shown a link between blue light and eye strain, messed up sleep, even an increased risk of some eye diseases. But we need more research to be sure. And this study about retinal changes, it adds another layer to it all.
Oh, how so?
Well, it shows that even short bursts of different light, even blue light, can change the eye structure. So it makes you wonder, what if you're exposed to that for a long time? Could those little short-term shifts in the retina, could they turn into bigger problems down the road?
Yeah, that's a good point. So we still have a lot to learn about artificial light and what it does to our eyes in the long run.
We do, but even now, we can still give our patients good advice, right? Based on what we do know.
Totally. So besides UV protection and taking breaks from screens, what else can we suggest for long-term eye health?
I think it all comes back to light hygiene.
I love that phrase.
Me too. It's about making smart choices about the light you're getting all day and all night.
Like a healthy light diet.
Yes. So during the day, lots of natural daylight. Open those blinds, go for walks, let that sun in. It helps regulate your sleep cycle too,
It does. It does. And for people who are stuck inside all day under fluorescent lights, any tips for them?
I know, right? We're all under those lights sometimes. But we can advocate for better lighting design. Maybe using bulbs that mimic natural light. Those full-spectrum light boxes can be helpful too.
Good points. And what about nighttime? How can we minimize that artificial light exposure before bed?
Dimming the lights is a good start. Tell your patients to avoid screens for an hour before bed at least.
Give those eyes a break. And what about those blue light glasses? Do they actually work?
They can. Especially if you're on screens a lot at night, they can reduce eye strain and help you sleep better.
So it's not about avoiding blue light altogether.
No, it's about when you get it. We need blue light during the day, but at night, it's best to minimize it. Let your body produce melatonin naturally.
Right. Balance is key. Enough of the right light during the day, and then less of the bad light at night.
Exactly. And as eye doctors, we have to be the ones to teach people about this.
Absolutely. We have to guide them, help them make healthy choices for their eyes. This research is a game changer, wouldn't you say?
It really is. It's not just about correcting vision anymore. It's about keeping those eyes healthy for years to come.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
This research really shows how amazing our eyes are, so complex, so adaptable. And light plays a huge part in all of that. Taking a holistic approach, considering the impact of light, that's the future of eye care.
I agree. Well said. And if you want to learn more about this specific research, the link to the full study is in the episode description. Go check it out.
Yes, definitely take a look. And hey, if you have been enjoying the deep dive, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes.
And if you're feeling extra generous, leave us a 5-star rating and tell your colleagues about the show. Help us spread the knowledge.
It has been so great exploring this topic with you all. Until next time, keep your eyes healthy and your minds curious.